Thank you, everyone, for being here on Money Talks with Lynn Kitchen. I am thrilled to invite my good friend and colleague, Patricia Barnett, to this wonderful session today. Patricia, hi, Patricia, how are you?
Lynn, I'm so well, and really what a joy to be here together with you. Thank you
The,
for this
ah,
opportunity.
the joy is absolutely mine. Now, let me introduce Patricia Barnett to everybody. Patricia is not only a very, very dear personal friend, but she is a colleague to be listened to. She is an international speaker, a best-selling author, and she's a performance coach. I'm saying with a capital P, performance coach. Now, she helps people not only in personal development, but also in professional development. And I know firsthand because I have been part of her, not only her programs, but I have been part of her engagement in moving into this success track that she is taking everyone into. And that success track is called Elevate. She is the founder of the Results Mastery Institute, the creator of Elevate. And one of the things I'm so excited to have her on this show today for a special purpose, and that is on the topic of happiness in an unhappy world. Happiness in an unhappy world. What does that all mean? You are in the right place, and you're going to find out from my great friend, Patricia Barnett. Thank you for being with us, Patricia. How are you?
Thank you, Lynn. I am so well. I'm really happy to be here, and I love the topic, right? Happiness in an unhappy world, and especially now in times of uncertainty. Lynn, you speak about this time that we're in amazing volatility, not only as it relates to maybe stock markets, the economy, but it seems like everywhere we go, there's news that the sky is falling or something's falling or the
That's right.
the floor is about ready to bottom out. So this is prime time. The idea, no kidding, we couldn't have timed this any better had we tried. And I am really happy to be here together with you.
And this is exactly why I am thrilled to have you at this time because people are worried. They are uncertain. And as much as I say we are moving into a new normal of uncertainty, it's still difficult for us on the inside out to cope with that. And this is your specialty. So I wanted to just bring you on and make sure that everyone has a chance to listen to you. One of the things that I've loved working with you and how you coach peak performance is that you help people figure out what is holding them back. And then you have a method for breakthrough, a method for breakthrough. And then once that is broken through, and I've been a recipient of this, then it's amazing how fast that I have been able to move into peak performance. And that's what you do with your clients. Breakthrough, then peak performance. And I'm wondering, can we apply that to this changing world where we need a breakthrough in order to have a peak performance and it's up to us?
Absolutely, Lynn. This is such as I mentioned, a prime time for this topic because, breakthroughs happen many times not because we just wake up one day and decide, hey, this would be a really great day to break through something. Breakthroughs come generally when it looks like things are breaking down. And
Mm,
when there are things that are breaking down, this is our opportunity to see it not as it may feel in the moment. When things are breaking down, that's some of the most trying times we can find ourselves in. So when things are breaking down, when we can recognize, and this is why I love being with people along the journey, is because I get to be that voice to share. Let's recognize, what if this breakdown was actually for the breakthrough? And then in that breakthrough, there could be a breakout. in
Ah,
what you have just described, like this parabolic shift in results. So when we're looking at this breakdown, many times the breakdowns can come, well, they can come in a lot of different ways. We can experience them personally, we can experience them professionally. And I think one of the greatest opportunities to see that everyone going through a breakdown or what it looks like for a breakthrough at one time, in history, we could go back to 2020 when we were all in the same boat at the same time.
right.
And there's a lot of that going on today. We're still in the same boat at the same time for one of the greatest opportunities of our lifetime. And that's a big concept to try to wrap our arms around right now, that, wait a minute, this is actually good news. Sure doesn't feel like good news at all. And many times, Lynn, it doesn't. It won't feel like great news, especially the first few times that we're here to really rise above and go beyond. And yet, I'm here to say that even in the worst of times, there's a story that my father shared with me when I was 8. And it was about these two identical twins that were being studied. And they were being studied about how they would respond or how they would react to conditions. And the conditions that these identical twins were inside of, two different rooms, and they were inside of a room filled with manure. And one twin was really upset about this. And as they were being studied, and as these scientists were studying them, the boys, this one was just furious. And they thought, well, they're identical twins. So they went to the other room to see how the other identical twin was reacting and responding. And that twin said, oh my goodness, this is the best day of my life. I'm in a room filled with manure. There's got to be a pony in here somewhere. And that's the work, Lynn, to find the pony so that we find ourselves out of the manure and really at the next level of what's possible.
Well, okay, let's go deeper into that because I love that story. It's a really well-known story, and yet, I haven't heard it for so long. It's really refreshing because it's so now. It's such a story for us for now. Because I'm sure that you might be feeling, everybody listening might be feeling that you are in a room of manure, right now, or at least maybe that the whole world around us feels like it's pretty murky and mucky. And now you're saying that that is the conditions by which we can have a breakthrough and then a breakout. What, however, what about this topic of happiness in an unhappy world?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get right to what I think is the meat and potatoes of why I wanted you on this podcast today, Patricia. And that is because I think you have something special to share with the world. And it's now, and it's needed really very, very much right now. And what it is, it's something that you are willing to download as a gift right here, right now, today to everybody listening. And you've told me about it. I wanted you on this program for this reason. It's called the 7 Keys to Happier, Healthier, and More Productive You. So you've got 7 keys. This is a PDF that you're able to gift to all of us. Could you talk about that now? And then we can just unpack it a little bit.
Absolutely. So this is something that not just I think is a nice idea. It's not just something that I'm putting out so that, I don't know, we could just have a happy, like Susie Sunshine coming to deliver the good news. This is a download, a PDF, and it is a gift. And it is a culmination of my life's work, experience, and tools that I use personally, especially when it looks like the sky is falling. And
Mm,
how I know about that is my own experience in life where I have been through turbulent times. I mean, all of us have. I was working with a coach over 20 years ago, and I asked him, I said, when is all of this going to be over? When will I no longer have to be, going through issues and problems? And when will the world just be exactly how I want it? And he said to me, when you are 6 feet under. The point of this, yes. And the idea that the point of this, when you're dead and gone, that's when maybe you'll be in heaven and everything will be fine. And until then, human experience, our human experience is how do we rise above and move beyond when it looks like all the world is, breaking loose. And so this guide that I've written, it's tools. There are tools in there that I have used in my life that are the foundation and the bedrock with every client I work with personally and in group coaching. Because the number one idea here is not that our happiness, unless we put the keys to our happiness in the hands of others or in other circumstances, like the sky is falling, if we really believe that and put the keys to our happiness in the outside, whatever flavor of the day it is, this is going to be a very bumpy and rocky road. So
Yep.
when we think about where we are in the midst of the economy, where we are in the midst of anything, you could just name any idea what's happening across the globe right now and individually. Everyone right now is moving through an opportunity. So you were speaking about this time. I believe it is one of the greatest opportunities of our lifetime, no matter how long you have lived up until this moment, greatest opportunity for happiness, peace, fulfillment, and freedom.
Happiness, peace, fulfillment, and freedom. Did you hear that, everyone? Now, this is the PDF download that you are invited to take advantage of today. We're putting it right up on the podium right now. It's called Increase Your Happiness Starting Today by Patricia Barnett. 7 Keys to a Happier, Healthier, and More Productive You. And just click below and you will receive your copy of that. I think this is extraordinary. I think it can't be more timely, Patricia, that you're offering this today to everyone here. Let's now talk about a little bit, maybe, I don't know if we'll get through all 7 keys, but at least maybe your top 2 or 3 favorite keys, the ones that you think, Patricia, will really be the ones to move the needle for us. I mean, I think that unhappiness is a little bit conditioned. And when we go through, let's say in my financial world, if the markets are going down precipitously, everyone goes into a panic, everyone feels unhappy. Believe me, they're losing money, they feel unhappy. So it's from a circumstance outside of our control a lot of the times. But then there are always other conditions, outside conditions. And you've been through some major uncontrolled conditions yourself. I know that you went through life and death, illness, and here you are, still here with us. Ta-da! And I know these things are circumstantial in nature, conditions outside of us, conditions outside of our control, and yet we are human. We have this problem with our emotions. Emotions get in our way. Unhappiness is a broad term, but it can go into sadness. It can go into depression. It can go down through the river Styx that can really ruin one's life, addiction and so forth. But you have, I think, 7 steps to keep us in the right direction. Could you just at least go through the first 2 or
Yes.
3 steps for
Well,
us?
and I'd love to speak to the one that I believe really has a lot of weight in it. It's one
Good.
that I believe is one of the most immediate opportunities for a shift. And before I share with you which one that is, I'd like to just share that it would be really easy. These are 7 keys to increase your happiness. It would be really easy to think, but Patricia, Lynn, I don't really need happiness right now. I just need to survive. I'm not
Mm,
really interested in happy go lucky Susie Sunshine here telling me how to be happy when right now the sky is falling. And I get it, the idea that you're not listening. This isn't interesting. The sky is falling. How is one little tool that sounds so easy going to free me or help me get to the other side of where I am today? And and in that, the story and this one key, the most important key, they're all vitally important. This one is imperative and one of my favorites to move through times like this. And I want to share that, Lynn, you mentioned there was a time when I was facing what looked like, my life ending,
yeah.
where I had doctors
End
say to
of the
me,
road.
you better pray for a miracle
Yeah.
because the chance of you moving through this are slim. And that was over 25 years ago now. And
Mm,
at that time, there was a specific opportunity in that moment to get really clear of where I was and where I wanted to be on the other side. So when I'm working with someone and we're in a situation, even before I hand the keys to someone, the number one question I ask is, where do you want to be on the other side of this?
mm,
Fortunately, my husband was with me that day that I received that news, and he said, wait a minute, are you going to buy into this? We had been coached, we had known, we had been inside of this conversation for several years. And so, fortunately, we had the opportunity, experience, and mindset to say, wait a minute, are we going to buy into this or are we going to make it to the other side? And if we're going to make it to the other side, where will we be and what does that look like? So, that's the number one foundational question I ask anyone and everyone. And that's one that I ask right now before we even hop into the guide. But here's what happened for me. I said, yes, I'm going to make it to the other side, right? I have faith. I'm going to walk in faith. I'm going to use all the tools that we have learned in private coaching that helped us go from, 0 to hero in business. And I'm going to apply it to health. And a week later, a friend of mine called and said, Patricia, I have a gift for you, and you are going to absolutely love this gift. It's going to change your life. And it's the number one thing that I could give you to help you go from where you are, go home and pray for a miracle, to making it to the other side and not only surviving, but thriving. So you can imagine, Lynn, I am like waiting at the mailbox because she sent me something in a tool that was going to be transformational in my journey
through the mail?
through the mail. This was
Okay.
25 years
Oh
ago.
boy.
She
What
sent
is
it
it?
through the mail, and I was thinking, I can't even imagine what this is going to be. And when it arrived, I opened it up, and I must say, I was very deflated because what she sent me was something called a gratitude journal. And I
Mm,
thought to myself, God bless my friend. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She has no idea that what I really need here now is a miracle, not a gratitude journal. What I didn't know at the time is that inside of gratitude, that's where miracles reside. And
oh,
yes, you can feel it, you can sense it, you can
yes.
know it. And I'm here to share that where these tools that I provide may feel a little like that when people are downloading, looking in, reading the story. I share a lot about my story and how I was able to turn myself around, create a new mindset, and then begin applying these tools. So that gratitude journal, here's what happened. It's a true story. I called my friend, thank you, thank you, thank you. This means so much. I know you really wanted me to have this. And I hung up the phone and put the journal on my bookshelf, bottom shelf of my bookshelf, thinking that was very nice thought, but she has no idea where I really am. So I share the story because I get it. There may be people who download this and it's like, Patricia, you have no idea where I am. And I do. I really, really, really do. Whether it's financially, whether it's health, whether it's fear, whether it's relationships, whatever it is, stock market, whatever it is, political, I understand. So when you're asking, Lynn, what's the number one key? The number one key is that lifesaver that my friend sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, over a period of just a little while, there was a calling to go back to that gratitude journal and at least get curious of it, at least be interested in opening it, and at least be interested in applying it. Now, here's the thing that I know now, 25 years later, is that energetically, the number one most important thing that we can do right after we ask that question of where are we going to be on the other side of this is make sure that we are grounded. We use the word grounded. Make sure that we are calm. Make sure that we are confident. Make sure that we're stable. Make sure that we're secure. And in this space and place of feeling like we're in the midst of an ocean that's just rocking us all around, it is about having a survival float in the middle of that ocean by just putting oxygen mask on ourselves to just be present for one moment. Because when we do, that is what will change everything outside. It first happens within. So we try to go change everything out there. The very first place to look is right here, right now, because how we show up in the midst of all of this. Whatever we're thinking, whatever we're believing, whatever we're feeling, that's going to change the game, and that's going to be the trajectory in which we will navigate the storms, whatever the storms may be in. Everybody's going through a set of storms. So, in this gratitude, first thing, gratitude. Do you know the moment we just pause in this moment and bring to mind one thing, just one thing we could be grateful for, even with the sky falling, even with the bottom coming out, even with whatever's happening, pausing, taking a breath. That breath is a big key too. And just thinking in this moment, press pause on everything, one thing we could be grateful for. And then why? Why?
So I invite everyone right now to do just that.
Mhm,
Press
mhm,
pause and bring to mind one thing that you can be grateful for, even if you're the one that's going through a very, very difficult situation, circumstance, or a potential threat, a loss, or a perspective of future possibility of future trauma or drama. To take that pause right now and then find one thing you're grateful for, even if it's being able to breathe,
mhm, mhm,
right? Just, I'm so grateful I have the capacity to breathe, that I can breathe. See, so you're right. That brings us back to center,
mhm,
from which everything else is going to be able to emanate. So from the center, I mean, I've heard that everything begins in the center anyway. So that key brings us immediately back to center. And of course, I love gratitude as well. Patricia, thank you for bringing that up. I'm so grateful that you did survive that amazing journey. I had a journey similarly with stage 4 cancer, and yours was extremely even more dramatic than that. And yet, mine was over 20 years ago. Yours was 25 years ago. We have survived and thrived by means of the practices that you're talking about, the practice of gratitude. and the elevation of our spirit, how we feel. We talked about happiness and or unhappiness is based upon a little bit of being aware that it's an inside job and how we feel. So I love that gratitude is one way of shifting that feeling tone, but gratitude also is, we've been taught, the vibration of abundance. So when you're in gratitude, suddenly there are more choices than just this little teeny tiny or very, restrictive place that you might be feeling pressured into. Suddenly in gratitude, there are choices. So I don't know. What's your second key? That
Well,
love the
it's interesting, when we take that breath, I love the breath. So I'm going to say those are a 1-2 punch, so to
yeah,
speak, because when we take the breath, it's
one
really
two
fun.
partnership.
1-2 partnership. Thank you. Because when we take that breath, even this 1-2 partnership may sound really woo woo, may sound really airy fairy, may sound really like, come on, ladies, give me some real meat. And here's the thing, scientifically, when we take that breath, we literally bring more oxygen to the brain. And I've heard people say that when we simply take a deep breath, we become smarter. I mean, think about that. We literally become smarter. Now, why? Because the brain has more oxygen. And when the brain has more oxygen, we can see beyond where we were with no oxygen to the brain. So when we're looking at the idea that we have oxygen to the brain, wait a minute, it's like an awakening. We become smarter. When we go to gratitude, it changes the frequency. When we're in fear, we're here. When we go to gratitude, it just boop, 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 even if it's up a notch, well, we're going to see things differently than when we were in fear. And one of my greatest, most favorite quotes of all time, it's Wayne Dyer. And Wayne Dyer was known as a spiritual teacher and
Sure.
transformational, speaker and teacher. And what he said is that when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Like those two
Bingo.
little boys in the big pile of manure. One looked at it one way, the other one looked at it another. And the same holds true for us. So when we have that oxygen, when we change ourselves and move into, even if it's just one step in the forward motion, upward motion, I'll call it, of gratitude, then we begin to see things newly. We begin to see things that we couldn't have seen before. And in that's a whole nother trajectory. That's a whole nother game. That's a whole nother way of moving through wherever it is that we are. So when we're thinking about these keys, I love those 1 and 2 keys. And there are so many that we could speak about, whether it's movement, just even moving the body, a change of scenery. What were you going to say, Lynn?
Well, I was going to say celebration because I know Patricia Barnett is all about celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you are the one person I have in my circle of colleagues and friends who celebrate with every text. You celebrate with every time I receive a verbal message from you. It's a celebratory message. You speak about joy and celebration and how, you're looking forward to celebrating with me, even on a phone call or something. And I have thought about that. And I thought, why is Patricia Barnett always celebrating?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that is one of your success practices, that celebration in itself is an elevation of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Tell
Oh,
us about
man.
it.
I love it. And I love that you see that. I love that you feel that. I love that you notice it because it's true. And I don't just say that as nice little words to hopefully have it be fun or that you would feel or think or just that I would try to be kind or, nice. Like, Lynn, I'm really happy to be with you. I really feel it. And I know you feel it too, Lynn.
Oh, it's very, it's it's a way of communicating that I've not experienced before that is so consistent.
Mm.
And not only that, but I want everybody to know that Patricia Barnett has as her logo. I mean, everything that she does inside her business is all about this celebration. And you know that you're with Patricia when you hear the ending of everything that she produces. She ends with a celebratory. Shall we do it together?
Are you
Patricia,
ready?
you go
In
what,
three,
three, two,
in two, in one. Cheers and ta-da!
ta-da! So there's always cheers and ta-da, cheers and ta-da, cheers and ta-da. If I've heard that once, I've heard it 100 million times from you already in our relationship together, which I have known you since 2011, by the way. And I'm so grateful for our friendship. We've been in business together. We've been in masterminds together. I've been in your courses. You've been in my courses. And every time there's this consistent celebration that you bring to the table, not just in your countenance, in your words, in your deeds, in the elevation of your speech. And this is something that I want everybody to know about, to emulate who you have become, how you speak, because I think that alone is something that shifts and changes the vibration of our lives and what's possible. When you're celebrating, you can't be sad. In other words, the brain won't go on both wavelengths at the same time. It's either one or the other. Which would you choose? And that, I love it that you brought back when you ask your clients at the very beginning of working with them, are they willing to see themselves on the other side of that circumstance or condition? And then I can just hear you celebrating already in advance, like, we're gonna, oh, I need, you're, yeah, as long as they can see themselves on the other side of that condition, we've got something to celebrate. And I know that you're already, charging up to celebrate their victory, their success, their breakthrough, their aha moments. And when someone has someone like you on their side that will do that for them, with them, it's enormous confirmation that there's someone who believes in them. And this is why I think that you've got these keys here, and I'm so excited to bring this to my audience, because these are real. You and I have been studying with the masters. You mentioned Wayne Dyer. We've studied with him. We've studied with Mary Morrissey, Bob Proctor. We've Jack Canfield. All of the masters you and I have studied with, and filtering down how to use the best of what we've learned and then live it. You have accomplished that. So that's why I'm so excited, because Patricia, you really are a performance coach. That's something that most people don't really know what that means. What is a peak performance coach? Well, you can see by means of this just how you can help people make that breakthrough. And once we can make the breakthrough, we can then move into peak performance in our lives, in our happiness, in our health. And so, getting back to these 7 keys, even the title makes me, just kind of shiver. Could you tell us the title again?
Yes, increase your happiness starting today.
Yeah,
Right?
increase. We're
Increase.
not saying master, we're saying just increase, incremental, right? Talk about that, Patricia.
Well, and Lynn, I just love this whole conversation, right? This is something that I could be inside, and this is the conversation I am inside 24/7. This is the life I live. It hasn't always been that way. When you're speaking of this idea of just increasing, just if it's a little, hey, if we can just increase one little step, this isn't about hope, hopping on and going all the way to an elevator to the penthouse just like this, although for many that I work with personally, we do. The people who I work with, they say it's like you hop on an elevator with Patricia and you go to the top. And it's true because, Lynn, when you're speaking about this idea that when someone has a vision, I can see it with them. And if I can see it with them, then I know it is done. Our work is just to go from where we are to where they would really love to be and the journey along the way. And that's the work that I get to work and play inside of. And so when we're looking at this idea of increasing the happiness, and especially with celebration, celebrating every single step along the way and celebrating before we ever get started.
Woo!
Here's why, Lynn. Here's why. You're exactly right. Is that I not only believe, I know to be true, is that whenever we celebrate anything, celebrate the day. Yes, there was a time in which I celebrated every day being alive, and I still do.
Mm.
Celebrate being here, right? That when we celebrate, we literally elevate.
Ooh.
That's the name of the program that I've written and a new book that will be coming out this fall. That whenever we celebrate, we elevate. Now here's the key is that whenever we elevate ourselves, celebrate, elevate, that whenever we elevate, we will begin to see even more to celebrate.
Mm.
They are tandem and they work so synchronistically together to move us up that anything we can celebrate, let's do it. Because whenever we celebrate, then we elevate and then there's more to celebrate. I know that might sound a little cliche.
No, it
However,
really doesn't
it's
sound
true.
cliche. It actually sounds revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds absolutely revolutionary because I've never heard it before. I've never heard it said before, but you said it to the point where I think that we can get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is once, even when you do the increase, and celebration of an increase then elevates one. And then when you elevate, you actually see more to celebrate. Okay, that goes back to looking for the good, looking for something new to celebrate. And then that makes you go to the second level. And then you go to the third, fourth, and maybe even a quantum leap to the very top.
That's right.
That's probably amazing. I mean, not probably, it's absolutely scientifically
Mm-hmm.
proven to be true.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we can change from the inside out
Yes.
who we're being, how we're operating, what we're seeing, and what we can create, the impact that we have in that we want to be, do, have in the world. So I think that that's it. No
Yes.
one does it like you. You have a unique thumbprint on this, and I just am so excited to bring your message to the world, Patricia Barnett, because you are the queen of celebration. And I would love everyone to download right now Patricia Barnett's 7 keys to, well, let's get the title right. Increase your happiness starting today. 7 keys to a happier, healthier, and more productive you.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, Patricia, I'm just so thrilled that you said yes to come today onto this podcast. Those of you who are listening, please get in touch with Patricia. Tell us a little bit about how we can get in touch with you, Patricia, beyond downloading this PDF.
Yes, absolutely. Download the PDF and then we will be connected. You can find me on social media and my website, patriciabarnett.com. Go to my website and there is an option to reach out. And I look forward to being together with you wherever it is, social media, whether it is in this opt in inside of the guide to happiness. We'll be connected and there will be opportunities for us to connect from there. And of course, right now, just even on the website, or you could email me at patriciabarnett.com.
And get ready to celebrate your breakthroughs. Get ready to celebrate your peak performances because Patricia Barnett will have that in store for you, and she's ready to celebrate that with you. Now, Patricia, before we close, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yes. That, Lynn, and for those who are here, if you're here, the message is this is your time. We
Mm.
speak about prime time. This is prime time. When I speak about prime time, what I mean is this is the day, the opportunity. If you're here, then you're here for a reason. And the message is that no matter wherever you are, what I know to be true is there is something that is calling for you. There's calling for a change. There's calling for a transformation. There's calling for a freedom. There's calling for an opportunity to live happily, being fully fulfilled and living with a sense of freedom to really live all that you're here to live, to give, to be, and to receive. Mostly to receive, to step into that best life. And wherever you are, I know that it's possible for you. So, in this, one step at a time takes us all the way to the top. And what I know for sure is that this is your time. The door is opening. You just time for you to step through. So I look forward to connecting. Lynn, I'm so grateful for being here together with you, for our friendship, for all that we have lived and all that we have yet to live and all that we have yet to create together. And in this, I celebrate together with you, Lynn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, cheers and ta-da!
Ta-da! Thank you, Patricia. I loved having you. I hope everybody, this is your prime time. And Patricia has given you a special gift and an opening. Uh, Please take advantage of that opening, even if it is just a quick phone call with Patricia. Even in one 15-minute phone call, your life will change. It will have an opportunity. You'll walk through that opening, you'll walk through that door, and you'll be hearing somebody on the other side celebrating with you, for you, in your life. So please take advantage of the transformational power of my friend, Patricia Barnett. Thank you so much for being with us today, Patricia. And join us next time on Money Talks with Lynn Kitchen. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Bye for now.